Okay, everybody, we are live on most platforms. Let me make sure I start my Instagram. We are live now on Instagram and on TikTok and on all of our YouTube and Facebook pages. This is meteorologist Jamie Singleton bringing you a very important weather update. And I don't like using too strong language to describe something, but we've had a lot of heat and humidity obviously over the area, and we've got temperatures out there that are up again into the lower 90s. It's 92 in Roanoke and it's 94 in Lynchburg. It's even 92 in Lexington, where we have a serious line of storms moving in from West Virginia. Now, these are moving so fast that by the time we get to 6, 7 o'clock, we're going to see these probably east of Roanoke and maybe even east of Southside. These are blowing through in a big hurry. I should mention that we do not have a Blacksburg radar to look at. It went down last night with the thunderstorms that we had, and we simply just don't have the ability to pull up our next rad out of Blacksburg. But don't fear, I've got you covered here. Let's go through the warnings as we have them. We've got storms right now moving into Blacksburg and Christiansburg. And again, on your weather app, depending on what you use, the storms are not going to look as bad because we don't have that radar. That radar sends everything out to all the apps, including my weather software. But we're going to use some surrounding radars and satellite technology to still give you the latest warnings. The biggest warning right now that we have is for Bath County, Allegheny County, including Rockbridge County, into northern Botetourt County. This is a warning that's tagged with a considerable thunderstorm wind threat. These storms are coming out of West Virginia near Covington, in Warm Springs, that area, until 4:45. So about 48 more minutes for this to move through all of Rockbridge County. That's just how fast they're moving. They're moving out to the southeast at 50 miles per hour, and the National Weather Service is tagging this with 70 mile per hour winds possible. Now, this is the velocity data off of the Charleston, West Virginia radar, and that is showing me 60 to 70 mile per hour winds, not too far off the ground in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. These storms are going to bring that wind down, I'm afraid, especially with their fast movement. So we've got the severe storms from Williamsville to Covington, the Jordan Mines moving southeast at 50. Considerable tree damage is what they're calling this. And that gets into that D word. We don't like to talk about derechos, but we talk about, in this case, perhaps some derecho-like damage. And I don't know if it's going to be as widespread as some of our worst ones. I don't think it. 2012 was the big one. I don't think this will get up to that point, but we are going to see a significant amount of power outages and wind damage from this today into the rest of the evening. So this is one of our more serious storms. To give you an idea, we've got more storms going on to the west of us, just pushing into the NRV. I have filled my bathtub up with water. I've got tarps for my computers in case the windows blow out. That's the kind of storms that we're talking about, and I don't think I'm hyping this too much. I think I've given you the appropriate warning that you need to be looking for. But the strongest cell that we can pick up right now, again, is just to the south of Clifton Forge. But watch out, Eagle Rock, Buchanan, Glasgow, and Lexington, Buena Vista. You're going to get hit next with this, and that includes Goshen and Warm Springs. Let's move south. And the Roanoke Valley, it's really hard to get coverage here from a radar. But what we're seeing are cells around Blacksburg and Christiansburg that are showing up on the Charleston radar. And again, we're looking at 10,000 feet in the air. So I cannot give you a valid wind estimate at 10,000 feet in the air other than to say that's the wind at 700 millibars, which is pretty high up in the sky. It's about 50 to 60 mile per hour. So we're not going to have good wind data with this. We're assuming, because of how unstable it is, that all of these storms are going to pack a punch with 40 to 70 mile per hour winds plus. We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Smith County and the Wytheville into western Pulaski County. That is until 4:45, another 45 minutes away. Storms are located along a line extending from Mechanicsburg to Nebo, moving east at 70 miles per hour. Again, these are very quick moving storms. Hail is possible as well, wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. We're talking significant wind damage here. These storms that produce these straight line winds can produce damage that rivals that of a tornado, only over a larger area. So they are of particular concern this time of the year in June. We've seen back in 1993, I grew up in this area, 93, 2012, 1996, all June's events. And basically, it's climatologically there when we have the right setup. So we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for northwest North Carolina. I'd also be watching out in Grayson County. And if I'm pointing out an area that's not near you, it's going to get there. These are going to move east, and you saw a new warning pop up that includes Floyd County. So all areas will probably have a severe thunderstorm warning at some point. Let me quickly go over the details of this one in Boone. We've got that in effect until 5 o'clock. And by the way, all of the area is under a severe thunderstorm watch. The mountains until 5 o'clock, the rest of the area east of Roanoke until 8 o'clock, because these storms are going to feed off all that instability. 60 mile per hour winds with this one near Boone, Jefferson, West Jefferson, Beech Mountain, Lansing, including Appalachian State. You need to move immediately and prepare for large hail and damaging wind, as well as a lot of lightning, once again, with these storms that we're seeing here in south of White Top and near Boone and Jefferson coming out of Tennessee. They're going to cross around the mountains here, and they're going to probably make it over the mountains. So for your safety, you need to move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. That's similar talk to what we talk about in tornadoes, only in this case, these are not spinning winds, but they are straight line winds. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for Floyd County. Let's go to another source here so we don't get too caught up in just looking at one source. I'm going to flip over and see if I can get this one out of, let's see, this may be a reach. Let's see if I can get this from the Raleigh radar. Not yet. Raleigh Airport, not yet. So it's kind of a, I'm going to admit, it's kind of a pain trying to get these warnings out, and the folks at the Weather Service are doing their darndest to try to get these out for you. This includes Radford, Christiansburg, Blacksburg, Reiner, Floyd, all of Floyd County, just about to Copper Hill from Pulaski. And the details on this one, this expires in just about an hour at 5 o'clock, winds of 60 miles per hour possible. At 4 p.m., we had severe thunderstorms from Merrimack to Pulaski moving southeast at 50 miles per hour. Blacksburg, Christiansburg, Radford, Pulaski, Dublin, Floyd, and Newport. You've got the heads up here. We've also got another cell that's popping up in Franklin County. So it's going to be difficult to discern with this radar being out what we've got on the ground, and that can be very deceiving. I just want to let you know that this looks more intense than it really is, and by that token, let's go to one of my NDI sources here and show you what's going on the enhanced satellite. This does not look at radar. I've got the radar turned off, but I am putting everything in an enhanced mode here so you can see the lightning strikes live on your screen and those cloud tops there as well. Now this circled area that you see right now through West Virginia, this is a concern from the Weather Prediction Center, where they're concerned with flash flooding from these storms as they're moving in, because yes, they are producing tons of rain, and we've already seen tons of rain in the area. You can see some of these colder cloud tops. We're going to have to use a lot of satellite with us during this event, because we're not going to have the radar right over the Roanoke Valley. But you see the purple right there over the Roanoke Valley. That is showing me that we do have some blossoming development there near Roanoke. So there's something going on in northern Franklin County and the Roanoke County and Vinton as we speak. This is quickly going to develop more than likely in the Bedford County and the Franklin County. With that said, I am a pet owner, so I have a weather cat who's outside and wants in. Give me 1 second. She's letting me know that it's thundering outside. So hold on one minute. Dot's coming in. Come on in. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, TikTok viewers. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we've got Dot the Weather Cat sheltered in. I'm looking outside in Franklin County off to my west, and I can see the darkening skies from that thunderstorm that I was just describing to you. So Franklin County, even though it's not showing up on radar, we do have a lot of activity going on and moving into the Roanoke Valley and Franklin County as well. Getting some local storm reports in from Greenbrier Valley. A large healthy tree down, a large healthy pine tree down on Route 60 in White Sulphur Springs, just past Ingleside Avenue heading east. So we're already getting a lot of local storm reports in. Also from Christiansburg, we've got, let's see, tree damage, 1-inch tree limbs broken, shingles blown off in Christiansburg with this one storm as it moved in. And you can see the technology there trying to pick up on that line as it continues to move off to the east. These are putting down power poles as well. From Christiansburg, Montgomery County, the public reporting that at 3:58 we had 3-inch limbs broken and power poles broken. The last time I saw a power pole break was during the 1993 derecho that came through a good part of the area, and if you weren't around then, it broke power poles as well. Sometimes that occurs when a tree falls on a line. Sometimes that occurs when you just see so much wind it just breaks the power poles. But you can see the activity continuing to move off to the east. Let me show you the latest here. Again, no warning. I'm surprised by that. That may be because they just can't see it from the National Weather Service's surrounding radars, but this is some serious stuff now that's starting to blow up across the area. I'm looking for other reports here that are coming in. Got a tree down in Montgomery County, another one down, and just the barrage of craziness. These are the watches that are in effect, and you can see the whole screen kind of lights up there. So the whole area is under a severe thunderstorm watch, but we really don't even need to concern ourselves with the watch. We need to be ready for these warnings as they're coming out, and that's why I'm going on the air live for you here. We'll go to another source. I want to show you kind of what's happening, what's kind of causing all of this. And the good news is today is the last day that we really have to worry about these storms, at least in the Virginia and Mid-Atlantic area, because as this image will load, it's going to show you that we do have a ridge extending to the south of us, to the east of us, and that's been steering these complexes of storms through the area. So you can clearly see there's a complex that's moving through right now into our area. This is the one that, again, could be producing derecho-like winds as it moves out of Kentucky and Tennessee. When I got my rest overnight, well, I want to say overnight, when I got my rest this morning and woke up expecting this, it really made my heart sink because the model, one of the models was really, honing in on this. That was the NAM, surprisingly enough, and it has verified so far. Up to the north, that red looks kind of scary, but that's actually very dry and pleasant air. So what we are seeing is a pattern change. We are going to see the pattern shift to a cooler, less humid weekend, a very pleasant day tomorrow. Oftentimes, when you have a pattern of heat and humidity, you're going to see a lot of activity right on the cusp of that pattern change. In other words, it takes something big to knock this pattern out, and that's what we're seeing. Look at Kentucky. All of these icons here, and I'll zoom in a little bit more. Each one of these icons is a wind damage report that we've been following throughout the area, and those wind damage reports are moving to the east as well as we get them. I'm going to try to also remember to pull up the live power outages and the live VDOT conditions as well as these reports continue to come in. So I wanted to show you that as well. We're going to get back to, let's see where I want to take you next. Here's just an overall radar picture so you don't get too confused at your bearings here. Thanks for the new follows. I was trying to let folks know yesterday getting settled in for my vacation. Sometimes it takes some time here, but I was trying to let folks know that this was going to be coming. So I'm glad I was able to jump on Patreon overnight and let you know about what's happening right now, because if you were on Patreon yesterday, you knew that this was a possibility for the afternoon. It's hard to tell where the line is now, but it certainly is seeming to me to be moving a bit closer to the Roanoke Valley area. And again, you can see that more intense activity, at least from what the radar is seeing, up around Snowshoe and Harrisonburg. And I'd watch out around I-64 as well. That severe thunderstorm watch does go all the way up to Charlottesville. So again, the atmosphere is primed up. Let's take a look now at our regular radar, and you're going to hear that cat squall. That cat needs constant attention sometimes, especially when there's weather moving in. So our radar from Charleston is picking up the cell that I've been watching out of Franklin County. I'm not sure what's going on in Roanoke. We've got a gust at 10, but the airport just had a gust of 32 miles per hour. And my radar just went a little bit berserk because I think we're seeing some effect of the storm on the radar technology, believe it or not. But we've got 32 mile per hour gusts there showing up into the Roanoke Valley area. And up here is in the Highlands, you've got to be getting hit really hard. Glasgow already probably seeing some wind. I'm trying to get some of these wind reports here as they're moving through some of these backyard weather stations. We got to keep in mind too, some of these areas are going to lose power just as the storms move in. Don't want to forget our friends in the Allegheny Highlands, and I'm talking way up there into the Greenbrier Valley and the Pocahontas Valley area near Elkins, Addison, and Snowshoe, Monterey, and Highland County. That's a very intense storm, and that continues into Harrisonburg as well. These storms have been back building, it looks like. So I watch that around Culpeper, Luray, and the I-64 corridor there as well. But all of Floyd County, and now just issued another severe thunderstorm warning for Independence. And that includes all of Carroll County and Hillsville and Galax. Come here, Dot. It's okay. She's looking out the window. And at any point, I may have to jump off here and go to another location because I need to practice what I preach if I'm wanting everyone to stay away from windows. We've got at 4:02, this was 10 minutes ago, the National Weather Service in Blacksburg issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll County, City of Galax, and Grayson County until 5 o'clock. At 4:02, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from Draper to White Top, moving southeast at 50 miles per hour. That's interesting because the movement is southeast, and yeah, it is a little bit of a southeasterly movement here. So if I were to draw a line, and I don't know if I can get my telestrator to work or not, but you would be looking at Floyd, Hillsville, Independence next, and you'd be looking at Patrick County, probably behind that, Mount Airy and Dobson next as well, as this continues to push on through the area. I'm trying to read multiple alerts here. So we've got Allegheny and Wilkes County. I believe that's down here. There's North Wilkesboro, very strong cell being picked up all the way from Charleston, West Virginia. So this is a high DBZ core that is all the way up to 20,000 feet. And you can bet this is going to produce some damage as well. That's in effect until 5:15. So take cover in Wilkes County, Wilkesboro, North Wilkesboro, Rhonda, Trap Hill, Boomer, and McGrady. Prepare immediately for large hail and damaging winds. And I tell you, this is going to be through the area really quickly here. This is going to be going through Franklin County within the hour, and then it will be approaching Lynchburg and Amherst down to already in the Wentworth. So there may be some activity that we're missing out of the south. Let's look at it from a different standpoint here. And this is a look at the COD site. Now this shows us the clouds blossoming up in the air and the instability that we have in the air as well. You can see that I've got wind gusts there laid up on the screen. Let me see if I can get a better zoom here for you. And to get your bearings, you're looking at Virginia. This is the Roanoke Valley here. Can move this around just a bit. These are the cells that are blossoming up around the Bristol area. You can see those cauliflower-like formations as the sun gets lower in the sky. And if you pay careful attention, look at these values I've got plotted. 3,000, that's the amount of storm fuel that the RAF model is showing us that these storms have. So with storm view, with at least the analysis from that, we can show you that we've got up to 3,000 CAPE. And I've seen readings closer on the SPC site, closer to 4,000 to 5,000 CAPE. That is an incredible amount of energy that's basically just driven by heat and humidity. There's very little wind shear. These are straight line winds, but you can see the bulk of this activity, and I know that looks very scary. Well, because it is. Some people will say folks like me use fear to get viewers, and I don't like that, because fear actually is a normal, rational response to dangerous weather. And sometimes the weather is dangerous. This is one of those times. This is a different look at the complex on satellite right now. And again, if you are watching on any of my Facebook feeds, please continue to hit that share button. The Facebook algorithm will take viewers off with time. So it may be where if we reach the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour, I might take a quick 2-minute break and jump back on just to get the algorithm to get people on the video here. But you can see that's a lot of bubbling that you see there. Basically, that's showing us overshooting tops, updrafts that are occurring here within the storm. We can go in a little bit tighter here and show you that West Virginia right now is getting hammered, and now coming out of West Virginia, you've got the new formation there going on into central Virginia. Another way to look at it is to combine the colder cloud tops with the lower cumulus clouds, and the cloud shield has certainly advanced off to the east. We've got temperatures out ahead of this. Reminds me of 2012, because in a way we had near 100-degree temperatures. This is coming in a little quicker, and the damage so far doesn't look as widespread, but still looks very serious. 95 in Martinsville. It's 97 in, that's 95 in Danville, pardon me. 97 degrees in South Boston, 95 in Campbell County, 89 degrees in Roanoke. That heat's just going to continue to drive this complex as it continues to move to the south and to the east, but pretty much hitting our area dead on. And by our area, I mean northwest North Carolina, the Blacksburg, Roanoke, Lynchburg corridor up to the Allegheny Highlands, and other areas in Virginia all the way up to the Shenandoah Valley. This is theta E. This is a way of looking at the amount of energy in the atmosphere combined. When you see a big bulge, a big ridge like that, you know you're dealing with favorable conditions for thunderstorms. So we're going to throw the radar back on, but we're going to use a different radar this time. If I can pull it up here, if it's going to let me. So this is coming out of Wakefield. We've got a brand new severe thunderstorm warning in effect that includes Roanoke, Lynchburg, Amherst. Please, folks, share this. This includes all of Franklin County. This includes all of Bedford County. This includes Lynchburg. This includes Amherst County, the rest of Botetourt County. This one's in effect. I'm going to just read it to you verbatim. And again, we've lost the radar from storms overnight in Blacksburg. So we're going to depend on your reports and comments. If you can stay safe, though, that's the best thing. Stay away from windows, and then after, maybe you can let us know and let the Weather Service know what you're seeing. But at 4:15, that was just a few minutes ago, Roanoke County, city of Buena Vista, southern Rockridge County, Bedford County, all of Bedford County, all of Botetourt County, Amherst County, northwestern city of Lynchburg, Franklin County, all of Franklin County. That's Rocky Mount, that's Smith Mountain Lake. Get off the water, please, in Smith Mountain Lake or any other lake in the area, Philpott Lake, and hopefully by now Clater Lake. Any other lakes around the area, very dangerous when high speed winds come in at this velocity. We'll look at the base velocity here. This is, again, looking way up in the storm, and I still see some 40 to 60 mile per hour winds there. Very intense core there near Floyd as well. But this is the new polygon that's been issued. At 4:13, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from Vesuvius to near Wirtz, which is near me actually, to near Indian Valley, moving to the southeast at 50 miles per hour. Now, to give you an idea of why I'm concerned about that, when these storms move, they have their own internal energy just by the fact that they're moving so fast. That accelerates the winds within these as they move down to the ground. So we've got 70 mile per hour winds possible. That's a Cat 1 hurricane almost, and considerable tree damage. This should be alerting phones because we've got new ways of alerting your cell phones by radio frequency, not by your cell phone coverage. So hopefully you've got those turned on. And when we look at the tagline here, I'm going to show this up a little bit more because I want you to read the wording here on the screen. All right. So locations impacted include Roanoke, Lynchburg, Salem, Benton, Bedford, and Rocky Mount. This includes the Salem Civic Center, the D-Day Memorial, and the Roanoke Airport. Now, this is the part you need to read very carefully because sometimes this stuff gets hidden at the bottom of the warning, but it's my job to tell you about it. Prepare now for damaging winds as well as deadly cloud-to-ground lightning. We had a lightning strike in Franklin County yesterday. Somebody was struck by lightning. For your safety, move to an interior room. That could be a hallway in the basement of a sturdy building. If you don't have a basement, get into a sturdy hallway or even a bathroom with more plumbing. We're not talking tornadoes, but we're talking straight line winds that are producing possibly tornado-like damage. They're breaking power poles in the NRV. We know we've got big trees down in the NRV and power poles broken. Now, this is strong wording from the National Weather Service. In big letters, this is a dangerous situation. These storms have a history of producing widespread wind damage. Seek shelter now in all caps. Stay away from windows. Also, we're going to have some flooding and low-lying areas as well. So avoid windows and avoid the low spots as well if you live in a flood-prone area. Otherwise, you need to be in a very safe space away from windows here. So these storms continue to bubble up and head closer into Lynchburg, and it won't be long before we start to pick these up out of Wakefield. And in fact, you can now see near Rocky Mount, we've got some development there that's showing up. We've also got some development showing up near Westlake Corner. And then this huge complex of storms. I'm really worried about I-64 here from Warm Springs to Lexington. This is just a very, very intense storm from all radars. This is looking at 20,000 feet in the atmosphere. We can't get any lower than that because of the radar being out in Blacksburg. And we can still see purple on the radar. That's an indicator of hail. And that's oftentimes an indicator, you can see the hail showing up there in the non-cranberry colors. That can be a sign of debris there as well. Dot is very concerned, as she should be. Dot, come inside. Well, you're inside, but come in. We've got another severe thunderstorm warning now for Patrick County and Surrey County. We're going to look at that one. And it's kind of hard to see here, but because we don't have a radar, let's see, I might have to use one of these other radars. Let me pop up one more. I'm going to pop up Greenville-Spartanburg's radar. This is my technology here that I pay for, and your patron, your $1 a month goes to help me do this for folks. Look at how many warnings we have. Look at all the lightning there as well. We're going to let this load. So this gives us another vantage point from the south. That almost gives us a better vantage point of these storms here coming out of Hillsville and Galax. You can see them looking a bit stronger. Also notice here that we've got discrete storms popping up ahead of the main line. So we've got a main line here, and we've got these other storms popping up well ahead of this main line as well. I'm going to open up my telestrator. Dot, you gotta stop. They know it's bad. That's a good kitties. Come on. All right. The joys of having a cat. Dot is very concerned, Kim. Yes, she is. She does not know what to do. All right. So this, I wouldn't be surprised if Henry County is next, but the latest warning now includes this area because these storms are now moving into this area too in the Franklin County. But what I wanted to also show you here is that we've got these discrete cells popping up into North Carolina. So that's something that you want to definitely keep in mind. These storms are going to blossom out very quickly. They're going to produce a lot of wind, and they're going to come up on you in a very short amount of time, and that's why we are so concerned about this. Wentworth down to Danbury, coming out of Stewart, we'll watch that radar site. That's the Greenville-Spartanburg radar site. Let's go to another radar site that we can show you. Looks like Greensboro, Guilford County is now under a severe thunderstorm warning. Do me a favor, bear with me here. I'm going to try to get this cat under control as well. She may have just given up, so sometimes she gets the message. So we're going to go to Sterling. We're going to look out of the north now, okay? So the fact that we're still picking up some activity here into, let's see, let me get my telestrator over here. We're picking up this cell out of Sterling. This is near Washington, D.C. Radar is way up here. And we're picking this up at, my goodness, this is at 46,000 feet in the air. That's incredible. Let's see. Let me just write that down. That's how strong some of these cells are. That one right there is up at 46,000 feet. And this one down here in the Wentworth is actually even taller, which is crazy. This storm is being picked up to close to 50. That's amazing. All right, Rockbridge County appears to be the most severe storm right now. This is moving out of Lexington, moving into Amherst and Bedford. Lynchburg, you need to take cover immediately as this continues moving into Nelson County as well. We've got a new update in from the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service out of Sterling. It's now placed Nelson County under a severe thunderstorm warning until 5:15. That's Albemarle County and Augusta County and Nelson County. Severe storms located along a line from Bells Valley to Collierstown. There's Snowden moving southeast at 45 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour winds. Trained weather spotters have reported 60 mile per hour winds. This is not radar estimated. They are using trained weather spotters to confirm that we have 60 mile per hour winds. And for those of you that don't know, 60 mile per hour winds in studies has been the value that we use for severe storms because that's what breaks trees. And 70 miles per hour will break a power line. So that kind of activity definitely gets our attention there. As we're seeing another cell there, it looks like still near Smith Mountain Lake. I'm in Franklin County and I've got some clouds and wind around, but it's really hard to tell with the radars being out the way they are. And I truly hate that because it makes life very difficult on us to forecast here. But we'll continue to watch this activity progress into Franklin County now. You'll be under a warning soon for the rest of the area, and these will be out of the area in just a couple of hours. So these continue to move closer into Stanton and Waynesboro. There's that cell just to the south of Rocky Mount, it looks like, and this is off of the Charleston weather radar as well. Heading down 220 into Floyd. Lexington and Buena Vista taking it on the chin, and that may just be because of radar location. It's very hard to tell. You can see the edge of the radar there, showing us that. We now just got the alert from the National Weather Service on my phone, which is kind of cool that that's working. We've got this one for Franklin County. Should have set your phone alerts off because that's got the considerable wind damage tag in it. Looking at considerable tree damage, damage likely to mobile homes. A mobile home's not a good place to be, and 70 mile per hour winds. They will topple over sometimes just like that. I've been on location before, and I've seen mobile homes do a complete 180 where the bathrooms literally, the bathtub is on the ceiling and you're standing on the roof when you go back in there to check it out. So this is a serious situation. I mean, we're looking at winds that could do that. Outbuildings, roofs, mobile homes, damage likely, not possible, damage likely. Roanoke, Lynchburg, Salem, Benton, Buena Vista, Bedford, and Rocky Mount. Please, folks, share this out. I know it doesn't look as bad on radar, but this is the ratio type conditions that are moving through the area. This is not a joke. These are probably some of the stronger storms that we're going to have to deal with this year, and that maybe that we've seen in several years. Okay, very, very, very serious. Can't emphasize that enough. If I had to make a guess, I'd say somewhere in here is the leading edge of this, and all this is pushing off to the south and off to the east. But I'm looking at those numbers, and the algorithm's doing its thing where every half hour it drops off a little bit. Still got a few hundred on there, but I need to see those numbers going back up if you're in the path of these. Please, please share this out. There have been studies that have been done that after an event, after a tornado, after a big event, they ask folks, where did you get your warning from? I got it from my neighbor. I got it from my son. I got it from my daughter. You can be a hero and you can text these out, or at least just give folks in the path a heads up. Even if you're on TikTok watching from another location in the country, let your friends know near Roanoke and Lynchburg that to take these warnings seriously. Treat them as a tornado warning, even though we're looking at straight line winds. Now, I've got a lot of new information here coming in over the National Weather Service chat. Let me look here. Lots of trees down and power outages in Watauga, North Carolina. We're sending locations via Twitter on that. We've also got numerous trees down again in Montgomery County, and just got a slew of new reports in, so stand by as I read these, folks. They're coming in. I've got a direct link to the National Weather Service chat here. We've got 1-inch hail reported in Wilkes County, North Carolina. We've also got wind damage, multiple trees down in Watauga County. We've got in Blacksburg, 65 mile per hour winds were measured in Blacksburg. 65 mile per hour winds were measured in Blacksburg recently with this. That's not a guess. And what you're seeing on the screen, that our neighbors, I think, with the National Weather Service have changed their radars, our surrounding radars, to look further into our area, which is very, very cool, because in these other few frames, it wasn't showing up. So what's happening is folks there have changed their radar, and it may just be that the storms have moved away enough from the radar for the beam to get here. I don't know what they're doing, but that's awesome. We appreciate that help. Galax Airport, we've got a thunderstorm gust just out of Galax of 58 miles per hour. Limbs down and tree limbs down in Galax. These are confirmed reports. Shingles again blowing off of roofs. And this now continues east into the Lynchburg area. That one very strong cell is south of Rocky Mount. Again, share, Glade Hill, Hopkins Mills, Sidnersville, Route 619, and the Sontag. You're going to get hit by this, and this is going to do some damage. It's going to put some trees down more than likely. It will probably drop some hail, especially where we're seeing these high tops here. We've also got a big one near Manita that's moving toward Huddleston and Dundee, and near Smith Mountain Lake. You need to also be on guard. Now, these are definite hail cores. Where you're seeing this black over Lexington and Buena Vista and Glasgow, this is probably some monster hail that's coming down, what we call possible 1 to 2 inch hail that could be coming down from Lexington to Buena Vista and Glasgow down 501. So if you're making your way through Lynchburg, you can probably just look off to your north and see those terrible looking clouds, and maybe even a shelf cloud. That funny looking cloud that looks like a wall. That's a shelf cloud that's basically showing us the cooler air that's coming out of these storms. It's 64. It's 64 in Bluefield, and it's 97 in South Boston. We've got a 33 degree temperature swing in just our area. And when you know that happens, you've got a lot to talk about here. So looking at more reports coming in, we've got tornado possible now for Lexington. That's the wording by the National Weather Service. That's radar indicated. So that's a new warning. Tornado possible, damage threat considerable for the Lexington area. Let's see if we can't get our velocity data to work here, and we may be seeing why. See a little bit of possible shear here. We're looking so far up though. We can't rule out a tornado in any severe thunderstorm, and if I look at storm relative velocity, we may not be able to see this at all. But there is some spin. There's definitely some spin. So this storm is rotating. That explains why it is giving the Weather Service the courage to put that tag in there. Got another report out about Montgomery County. Looks like Montgomery County is getting hit hard. Power poles blown down on South Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Power poles have been blown down in Christiansburg. Let's see if I can get that. There you go. There you can see it on TikTok. That is nothing to be taking lightly. So, folks, hopefully you were prepared for this and saw it coming as it continues to push off to the south and to the east. That Selling Rocky Mount's got to be dropping some hail as well. And this is going to be nearing the Lynchburg area here very shortly. I'm going to go to another radar site and see if our friends at Wakefield or maybe even Raleigh can give us a better view. Yeah, there we go. Is that the airport? Okay, that's just Raleigh. Okay, that's fine. So we're getting a better view here of some of these storms that are now east. So we're not going to be looking at Lexington so much, although they're getting hit hard on this one. But you can see here from the Manita area, that Selling Rocky Mount. This is more of an accurate depiction of actually what's going on. And you can also see some activity now pushing out of Floyd County into Stewart. This activity will continue the ride down 58 more than likely, and we may be seeing more activity near Philpott Lake, but that one Selling Rocky Mount has me a bit concerned. Let me look at the velocity on that. I see some weak rotation in here as well. Now rotation, you can still get straight line winds in a cluster of storms and it can still rotate. So we're continuing to watch that for you. Near Manita, Smith Mountain Lake, again, we'll kind of hone in here. Grosse Pointe, Casey, north, just north of Scruggs. There's a Radford apparently in Bedford County, but Route 608 here near Stone Mountain getting hit very hard, and this one's moving off to the east-southeast too at a good clip at about 50 miles per hour. So these things are hauling, and they may be breaking up a bit, becoming more discrete cells, and that's good in one sense, but it's bad in another sense, in that they can produce more damage in areas that are more concentrated, but you still have that widespread damage occurring. You can see all the lightning occurring with this one cell up to the north here. So what we're going to do is we're going to tour the surrounding radars. So now I'm going to go to Wakefield. We're going to go from the east, and we're going to look at these storms now near Blackstone and Crew. These have developed out ahead of the line on their own. There's a special weather statement out for that one. That's Route 460 there as you make your way out of Farmville and Appomattox, out of Prince Edward counties here. I'll read you this alert as well, because this one winds in excess of 40 miles per hour. Dinwiddie, Blackstone, Crew, Nottoway, Cloud to ground lightning is occurring, gusty winds, and that could go severe at any time. Looking closer into Lynchburg from the Wakefield radar now. So we're going to go into Amherst County. You can see Buena Vista getting hammered right now under a possible tornadic type situation, but no tornado warning. It's a severe thunderstorm warning with the tornado tag on it. And again, this is moving close to Pleasantville, Fancy Hill, Banks Mountain, Beverly Town, Oronico, is that how you say that, folks? Brown Mountain. But there's a look at Buena Vista, just getting at hail, more than likely lots of hail, probably up to the size of 1 inch, maybe even 1.5 inches. That's on Magnolia Avenue, West 29th Street there. That's Midland Trail. That's Stewartsburg there, the Maury River, and Mechanicsville again. That's as far as the Wakefield radar is able to see this, which is quite a distance away. Let me zoom you back out. The Wakefield radar is all the way out here. Here's where the Wakefield radar is. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at these storms all the way from the surrounding radars to get a better idea. I can tell that they are increasing something with the radar, so they don't see as far, but they're more accurate when they get here. So we can see the edge of the cell in Manita. That's going to be nearing Huddleston and Dundee as well. We'll likely have some new warnings there coming out soon. Let me check out the Raleigh radar once again. See what we can't see off that. And again, we've got the strongest activity, I think, is right now going down 501. It's going to pretty much come right down 501 into Lynchburg with some extremely high wind and some large hail. Large hail as well and high wind south of Davies Mill, Dundee, near Smith Mountain Lake. Another one just south of Rocky Mount in the Glade Hill and Redwood. And now what you're seeing, and I kind of expected that, that's why I kind of popped that radar up, is we've got a new severe thunderstorm warning in effect for all of Pittsylvania County now. Alta Vista, Gretna, Chatham, Mount Herman, Alton, Martinsville, Horse Pasture, these areas, Collinsville, and Fielddale in the severe thunderstorm warning. And that also includes our North Carolina counties, Rockingham County into Surrey or Stokes County, and into Surrey County too, but also going into Person County, Yanceyville. This one's in effect. Let me go to my other radar here. We'll check out some of the, let's see, Sterling. We'll go with Raleigh-Durham. You see a little bit more on this software. So you can see the lightning there as well. Let's look at this. This line may have jumped the mountains, and that's not too uncommon. I'll put this in motion. Dot has been freed. Yes, she's no longer making noise. 4:40, National Weather Service in Blacksburg issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Stokes, Rockingham County, Caswell County in North Carolina, city of Danville. You've got a heads up here until 6 o'clock, but it may not take until 6 o'clock. For some of you, it's going to be the next 15 minutes or less. At 4:36, we've got storms from Rocky Mount, Virginia to Wilkesboro, North Carolina, moving southeast at 50 miles per hour. Additional thunderstorms were developing. Let's highlight that. These are the additional thunderstorms that are developing. Get back to my text here. Additional thunderstorms were developing ahead of this line near Wentworth in Yadkinville, North Carolina. 60 mile per hour winds, quarter-sized hail, and again, damage to vehicles with some of this hail coming down. So if you got your car in a garage, that was a good idea. Roofs, siding, trees, we're talking Danville, Eden, Reedsville, Martinsville, Yadkinville, Wentworth, and Mayodan, including the Martinsville-Danville Airport and the Martinsville Speedway. You should be preparing immediately and getting away from windows. Prepare for destructive wind in some of this. You're seeing the other cells that are popping up here, up around the Rocky Mount area. This line too, let me see if I can get that in an area where you can actually see it. This line too has to be watched. So both of these are heading off to the south and to the east, and will continue moving into North Carolina with time here as we continue in the south side. So all areas, again, still under a threat of severe weather. And I'll check back from time to time and look back to the west and see if we've got anything else upstream. But this is a very dangerous complex of storms. Now, the one I'm still watching is moving out of Glasgow into Amherst County right now and moving into Nelson County. This one has been bringing us lots of hail reports. We've also got a brand new report out of Greenbrier County of trees and power lines down along I-64. A report out of Lewisburg of large trees down. And we've got another report out of Radford. We've got a trained spotter. Been a long couple of days here, reporting wind damage. One half of a pear tree in the street intersection of West and Berkeley Street. No vehicles involved in that one. Another storm report coming in out of Bassett. A tree down on Blackberry Road, completely blocking the roadway in Bassett. So these are dropping trees, and they're coming in really quickly. And again, we just got that report out of Bassett, but look at the radar. Radar's not picking up anything really near Bassett. Hardly is anyway. And that's because, again, we don't have that Blacksburg radar to show us what's going on. But in this area, we've got big trees down, okay? I haven't heard anything out of Franklin County, but this is more than likely hail and high winds. This one's moving into Cowens. This one here, unfortunately, is moving into Martinsville. So we need to watch some of this. And there may be some activity that we can't see, again, because of the radar situation. Let's reset a bit. And we're going to move a little bit further to the north. I still want to keep talking about Bedford County. I'm really unsure what's happening. You're kind of in this hole where the wind came in, and now we've got another storm that developed there near the lake. So the whole area is still under a severe thunderstorm warning. But look at the damage reports that we've got now. You can see them on the map here from Giles County all the way through Pearisburg and down there across Radford. Lots of wind damage reports here out of Carroll County as well. Let me read some of that. That was the 58 mile per hour gust. Large maple tree down. That's in Woodlawn. And large tree limbs down near Galax as well as that continues to move in. There's the report out of the Bassett area from this cell. So this one is producing damage, and that's why you've got that brand new huge polygon. That should also give you a little bit of a clue on how serious this is. When you see polygons this big, that's some straight line wind damage and derecho-like warning. This probably may not fit that criteria. It has to, for derecho, you have to have something that is involving a large path, basically. That includes some high-end reports. So that's always up for debate. But what I'm using here is derecho-like damage. We're seeing a lightning jump out of this storm in Franklin County as well. That's sometimes an indication that the storm is strengthening. And that is actually not over Rocky Mount. It's actually more southeast of Rocky Mount near Snow Creek. That looks like a very intense storm. And again, it's going to be heading into Cowens, Chatham, and Pittsylvania County as well. Looking upstream here, the ones in Wentworth and Greensboro still look pretty intense. North Wilkesboro's, again, got that 1-inch hail report. This is I-40 from Statesville to Winston-Salem. If you know anybody in that area, Greensboro, especially Greensboro, right in the proper area there, right in the city. Looking at 98 degrees, and these storms are moving in. So we're going to more than likely see some large hail in Greensboro and some powerful destructive winds moving in as well into the Greensboro High Point area. As you see, the wind reports continue to come in with this particular system. Going into Lynchburg City a little bit, you can see out of Big Island and Amherst, we've got a lot of wind energy coming in here, a little bit of spin as well. And then that heavier cell continues training. So we may have to look at flash flooding too, up into Goshen, up into Vesuvius, and to Rockbridge County. So that's a concern, and also into Lexington, and especially into Nelson counties. By the way, I mentioned that we were worried about the Shenandoah Valley. We are indeed seeing those storms blowing up there as well. So anywhere along and north of I-64 and also to the south of I-64 getting hit very hard. So there's kind of an overall look at things. We'll put this radar into motion just to kind of give you an idea. These continue moving through the area. If you have damaged pictures and it's safe, please send them along in the comments or on Twitter. I'm broadcasting live on all the platforms and I read them all. We're trying to get them in here. We're getting more reports. This one in Franklin County out of Ferrum. We've got trees down, multiple trees down in the Ferrum area. And if you go back on radar, you can't really tell there was anything big there because of the surrounding radar. So this is more than likely, let's see. Yeah. More than likely what we're seeing, this could be debris that's being picked up. That's definitely hail there south of Rocky Mount. This could all be some debris in the air from some of those tree limbs and leaves getting blown up into the radar site. Some of the dust that we had in 2012 got picked up on the radars as well. It didn't look as, it looked like rain, but it was actually just wind is what we were seeing. And I think that may be what we're seeing there. This could just be wind coming through Stewart and coming out of Bassett. So be advised that this is the latest image. Look at all these reports we're getting out of Henry County now. Trees on power lines, Rockford Road, that's just to the northeast of Martinsville, blocking Memorial Avenue in Henry County. Numerous trees down in Ferrum. And this is all headed toward you now. Gretna, the Chatham, the Danville to Yanceyville. You need to be taking shelter immediately. That also includes Gretna. I'm very concerned about you, Gretna. I think this is heading right in your direction. We'll probably have some trees and tree damage, tree limbs down, and probably some hail in there as well. Just going off the reports that we're seeing. And you see that activity continuing to kind of, it's really teasing Lynchburg. I don't know why. It's moving more east, I guess. But right on the north edge of Lynchburg City there. And a couple of more warnings up across northern Virginia too, around Orange and Spotsylvania, Louisiana, south of, north and south of Culpeper. Very serious situation. Let's look at some other sources here. Got them up for a reason. And I'm going to pull up the DC radar, see if I can get Lynchburg a little more of a heads up here. You can see right there on the north end of Lynchburg there. And again, it's right along 501 from Boonesboro. Seeing that heavy activity moving close to my old TV station there, Channel 13 in the Midtown, which is about where the warning officially ends, but I can guarantee they'll extend that very soon as these winds and very intense activity continue along 501 and 130 going into Amherst County. All of that area, again, still under a severe thunderstorm warning, and we've got heat like you wouldn't believe. 94 degrees to 92 degrees in Campbell County. Campbell County, haven't been hit yet, perhaps, but you're about to be. All areas, I think, will see something from this, if not some gusty winds and some dangerous-looking clouds and some rain, thunder, and lightning at the very least. At the very most, we could be looking at very, very damaging conditions coming out of Virginia moving into North Carolina. So we'll go back to the Raleigh radar here, and again it gives us a little bit more of a picture of the Lynchburg area. That's Lakeview there, Darrington, Jackson Heights. Watch out Liberty University as well. This is a very serious storm. Has yet to reach 29, but it's not far from 29 as we continue to watch this go into Motley, Gretna, Ridgeway, and again Cowens in Pittsylvania County, Swanson's Mill. There's Route 57. Watch out Chatham, Wheel, Worlds, Swansonville as well. I'd watch out in Axton and Ridgeway and Spencer because we've got, let's see, where are we gusting? Does it say? Had a 23 mile per hour gust. That's not too bad compared to these other locations right in the thunderstorms. New severe thunderstorm warning with considerable damage now issued for Bedford County. And let's see, that's for Bedford, Amherst, Appomattox, Buckingham, the rest of Lynchburg, and Rockbridge County. So any second now you're going to see a new polygon issued for that area. You can see these new cells that are developing, and this gives us a kind of a confirmation, if you will, that we are indeed seeing a kind of jump happening here. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here. Those are the new cells, and we've got more popping up here to here. And then there's this lone cell out here, again, near Blackstone. Let me turn you guys here on TikTok. You can see that blossoming as the sun gets higher in the sky. These are thunderstorms that are shooting updrafts well up into the atmosphere, and they overshoot the lid of the atmosphere known as the tropopause. And when they do that, it's an indication that there's a very strong updraft involved and a very high potential for that updraft to produce a strong downdraft. And to kind of get your bearings here, I'm going to put on some mapping. There's your counties. And there's your station IDs. So that's Farmville there. This is Greensboro. The Greensboro, Winston-Salem area will be hit by these storms that are looking very, very dangerous near Winston-Salem and Greensboro, and also just north of Statesville in Iredell County. This storm in southeast Franklin County, again, this means business. You can see that moving into Pittsylvania County as well. And these storms here that you're watching coming out of Lynchburg and into southern Albemarle County here, south of Stanton and Charlottesville in Augusta County, I meant to say, coming out of Rockbridge County now into Amherst County. These also mean business. Anywhere you see the bubbling up of the clouds, and by the way, that correlates very well with what we're seeing here on this satellite image. You can see how these, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, we'll show the latest image. Here's the latest image. So let me get rid of that, and I want to draw. These are where we have maximum lines of measured heat and moisture in the atmosphere. That's called a theta E ridge. And when you see a theta E ridge, what will happen is the storms will go into that area very quickly. That's more than likely what happened just in the past hour or so. These storms have come out of the mountains, and there's a little bit of a lee side trough, and this is a situation where we're seeing this quickly jump off to the east in our theta E ridge, which is basically it's storm soup. And it's going to enhance these storms as they continue to move east out of the area into the Lynchburg area as well. So here's that new severe thunderstorm warning. I don't see the one for Bedford County just yet. I guess it's part of Bedford County here. That includes Lynchburg and again Stonewall. We'll give you a different vantage point. I want to show a little bit of a different display here. We'll go with our dark presentation. That'll give us a little bit more ability to see right into the locations that we need to see. So there you go with street level mapping there. You can see right into Lynchburg. Madison Heights, seeing the most of this, and that continues up Monroe Parkway up 29 near Martin Shop, Lamont Acres, Viking Ford, seeing a lot of wind as well, and probably some hail in there too. This is breaking power lines, and that reminds me, I'm going to go ahead and pull up here as I load this animation. I'm going to pull up our lee side troughs also there. I'm going to pull up power outages. Give me 1 second. I got to let the cat back in. She's going a little bit crazy. Come in, Dad. We're still seeing, she came in because we're still seeing thunderstorm outflow from perhaps a second area of storms that's barely being picked up here, that's showing up in this light color here in Franklin County. This could be also some strong wind and a lot of rain coming through the area. All right, so these concern me here. Lynchburg, this is the new warning that now includes Dillon and Appomattox. And it's 5 o'clock, so that's about what we thought. One more hour of this, and this will be going into other parts of Virginia. Amherst, Lynchburg. So now areas that need to take cover would include Appomattox, up 460 there. If you're going out of Lynchburg and Appomattox, and all of Buckingham County under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is labeled considerable with 70-mile-per-hour winds there. There it is on your screen. Appomattox County, northeastern Campbell County, Bedford County, that's northeast Bedford County, Buckingham County, city of Lynchburg, northern city of Lynchburg, Appomattox County until 5:45. 70-mile-per-hour winds, considerable tree damage. Damage is likely to mobile homes, and outbuildings, roofs. Lynchburg, Buckingham, Amherst, Dillon, Forks of Buffalo, and Bent Creek in the path of this very, very dangerous storm that continues to move east. We've got more damage reports coming in. Multiple trees down in Mount Airy. The severe thunderstorm warning for Galax has expired. That's good news. 1 mile north of Willis in Floyd County, large trees down on 220 in Willis, 221 rather. So that's out here. And here's Willis. So there's your report, multiple trees down. And just to give you an idea, Floyd is right up here. There's 221. So it appears we've seen damage throughout a good part of Carroll County and Floyd County as well. Haven't seen anything out of Patrick County recently, unless I've missed it. Collinsville, power lines and trees down on Kings Mountain Road. These reports are coming in like crazy. Surrey County, North Carolina, the dispatch there reporting multiple trees down around Pilot Mountain. That's in Surrey County, so you can see Pilot Mountain here. And it's very interesting that, again, the radar is not showing the actual heaviest stuff over Pilot Mountain. This could be wind that has blown away from the rain. It may be an outflow boundary of wind that's occurring here, and sometimes you can see that with the spectrum width. I don't see it on this one because we're just too darn far away from the radar, man. It's a bad day not to have the Blacksburg radar up, but we're doing what we can. Basically, we're just putting everybody under warnings here until these things move east. All right, so I am going to take a break quickly, so we'll do a part 2 here. I told you we'd be taking some breaks. Let me real quickly pull up some of the other images here that I've got to show you. So there's a look at the latest warnings. You can see those higher cloud tops there across Southside and that one storm near Blackstone. I'll try putting this in motion. And it's going to take a little bit to load here, but you can see how those clouds have definitely blossomed, and especially that one right there. Watch this around Danville, just south of Danville. Boom! We've got temperatures there again, very, very hot. We'll turn on the temperature readings for you. 90, 91 degrees, 97 degrees. These are moving into very unstable air. That means you're going to get that air rising very quickly. And if I actually put the last image up for you, I can almost do a track. It's almost hard to do though, because the radar's a little bit behind what the actual wind is doing. It's getting sucked. That little trough that you see it's popping up is basically pulling these storms toward the 360 area. So you folks in Halifax, South Boston, areas that have not yet seen storms, you are going to, and we could be looking at considerable damage and power outages. I'm going to pull up some information for reporting. I'm going to look at some of the viewer reports that have been coming in. I'm going to pull up the power outage reports, and we'll be back on here in just a second.